When you hear Mercury, the first thing that comes to mind is probably the cool liquid rock rather than the giant rock moon thing, and you definitely wouldn't be alone. From its formation, Mercury has acted as the unwanted stepchild we all have locked up in our basements, slowly battered and shrinking from its already mediocre start. Perhaps it's more true to say that its relative plainness is what gives it that true flavor. While it stands out in being the biggest loser, Mercury is far from the plain. In fact, it seems we still have much to learn about the most boring planet in the solar system. Mercury's orbit is interesting, stretching far out and far, and this egg shape has actually given all of its connotations into the modern day. Initially, viewers mistook it for two separate objects of day and of night, though eventually they discerned it to be one very quick and tricky rock. Observers around the world came together to name it after their heavenly speedsters: Hermes, Odin, Buddha, and Mercury. But even in the modern age where we could chuck billion-dollar computers into rocks, Mercury was often still left out. Turns out this egg shape would spoil any mission looking to actually get there. On a special occasion, you could get Mercury to be the closest planet to our own, but the only problem is that there's this big thing called the sun, which would swallow satellites up long before they could get sucked up into its influence. Thus, for the longest time, only one probe was ever sent, and it would take 40 more years before another could be devised to visit. Mercury's resemblance to the moon is not coincidental. It likely went through many phases similar to them in the distant past. Long magma oceans which created shrieking plains, now cooled by years of neglect, and instead serving as Swiss cheesing reminders of its lacking tectonic activity. While Titan and Ganymede may overcome its size, only one object can overcome its density. What is only a small part of our planet's makeup is roughly 85% of Mercurian's daily life. Even its magnetosphere, which it barely was able to scrounge up, serves as simply another way to exchange resources with the sun, often breaking apart and taking on some solar hydrogen while losing some of its own. The only subsurface form comes again from its flinging orbit, being physically stretched thick and thin into activity. Every day, history is still being written. Not far from now, another probe will follow along Mercury and record some new discovery and interest, whether it's about its surface or the clerks of small ice which hide at the bottom of its endless craters, resisting that harsh heat, or the suspicious amount of potassium in circulation. Mercury may be just the size of the continental United States, but it's still a planet. There may be many other rocks in the solar system, but there's only one Mercury.